Hi everyone, welcome to yoga at the barn, at yoga at Bonnevaux. We're in the barn here, and this is the lucky group, some on camera, some off, all together during our French lockdown here. And it's a beautiful day. It's been raining non-stop and we've got a few days of sun. So I hope you're all well wherever you are. And the building work is going to stop soon, but so if you do hear a hum in the background, it's not you, it's the building work. So we just need to be patient with that. And remember that the most important thing is that you receive the instructions I'm telling you and the metaphors and whatever, but that you're breathing and you're quiet so that you have time to hear, and then you have time to remember that it's your body and these are your movements and there's no one watching you. And so that you can start to cultivate this thing that I've been calling nearness, which is really, it takes time, but it's one of the deep secrets that our body is offering us every day, every moment. That the experience of being embodied is an experience of being near to yourself. It's what the sacrament of our physicality is giving us, which is the opposite of our bodies being an object that we're looking at all the time, and then we do yoga, and there are rules, and we're looking at ourselves, you know. It's never really that helpful. So it's more like being in a river. You're in a river and you're swimming, and it's delightful. Delightful. That also means that if you're moving and you start to be uncomfortable, well, then stop, slow down, listen. Maybe I'll say something to someone here that helps you. So that's really the spirit. That's really the spirit of developing a contemplative movement practice. It's got nothing to do with performing amazing movements or the right movement, although it's amazing to move. It's much more about discovering that you're participating utterly, deeply, and intimately in your own embodiment, which is an extraordinary gift. Come on in here. So here we are. So everyone here is lying on their back. So if you weren't lying on your back, just lie on your back for a minute. If you're in a room with other people, make sure you're lying on your own back. And if you're nervous or you live with discomfort, the most essential thing that our extraordinary bodies are proposing to us all the time is that we know and we understand and we are our physical selves. So very often by the time you're a teenager and then by the time you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you feel that you don't understand this thing, which is your embodied self, and it's a pity. It's a pity. We all live with pain. We all have moments where we feel better or not. But actually, there is no reason why we can't be profoundly happy and at rest with our physical selves, even while living with a disability or pain. It doesn't need to be an, oh my gosh, this is a jungle and I don't know what to do with it. It doesn't need to be that way at all. And of course, it's a slow journey. That's why life is very brief, but also feels very long. So here you are, you're lying on your backs. And let's just straighten the legs for a minute. Yeah. If that's uncomfortable because your lower back, your sacrum, the very base of the spine sticks out, is that uncomfortable, Tina? Then you can put something under your legs. Put a cushion under each leg. But just letting the legs be straight and then widen them a little bit from each other. So you're a bit, do you want it under the back or under the legs? Yeah. Let me roll it up. Widen your legs a bit and widen your arms a bit. So you're a bit like a starfish or a snow angel. Okay, anything under the legs? Okay. So legs a little bit wide, arms a little bit wide, eyes open if that makes you feel comfortable, eyes closed if you're happy with that. So you decide. And then just begin to allow your head to wobble a little bit from side to side. It's not military wobbling, it's more exploratory. So it's like when you nuzzle against a pillow or the beloved or on the beach, your head is on the sand. It's more like that, a little bit to one side, back to the middle, to the other side. Easy little ondulation de la tête. Yeah, easy. And the head is heavy and round, you know, it's like a coconut. Some of our coconuts are more round, others have bumps. Mine has all sorts of weird bumps on it that I go dunk over. But the head is heavy, and you're just letting it rock or wobble or roll. And there is something very oily about the connection of the head to the neck. It's like if you ever eat a hard-boiled egg and you take the shell off and you put it in a bowl and then you put olive oil. If you have never done that, you should, because it's worth it. And then the egg becomes very slidey around in the bowl. It's more like that. That's it. And you could have a big range on one side and less on the other. It doesn't matter, just notice. And as you wobble the head, you can make it bigger, you can change the rhythm. Yeah. So not so measured and considered. Yeah. Allow the mouth to fall open. Let your lower jaw separate from your upper jaw and swallow. And as you swallow, also letting the tongue be soft. Yeah. Soft tongue, oily, heavy head, swallow. Yeah. Yeah. Let yourself smile a little. Smile. If you've been working, you know, this is another kind of work. It's a complete waste of time work. So just letting go of achieving and, you know, making it be right. Just let the head wobble, let the mouth fall open, allowing your face to begin to look kind of stupid. Yeah, that's it. And then let the head come to rest. It doesn't need to be in the perfect place. Just the head comes to be still. And just notice if it's more to one side, to the left or the right, or if it feels more in the middle. Don't correct it. Just notice where you're happy to have it end up. And the mouth is open. And then the nostrils begin to open. The nostrils are like lotus plants floating on a lake. And they're no longer like straws sucking on dirty air of a city or neighbor's air or air with horrible viruses in it. No, it's like a huge breathing flower, a rose or a lily or a lotus that opens. And air is not something you're pulling at, but air is something that is falling towards you. So breath is coming towards you. In fact, you are being breathed and you're relaxing because there's more than enough air to go around. It's like love. You know, there's more than enough love to go around. You don't need to suck in more love from your neighbor. So we let go of sucking the air in and being tense behind the nose and the eyes. And we just keep opening. So we are like a landscape on which the snow of breath is falling, or the autumn leaves of breath are falling. And of course, breathing is both a passive and an active activity. And often we are more active and controlling of our breath than we realize. And it's putting tension everywhere, especially in the neck and shoulders and face. So the head is just melting into the ocean of the ground. The face is opening, and breath, air, is just falling towards you. And it's delicious and delightful. And if you do have worries about your breath, if you feel like I never breathe enough, or my breathing's going to stop, or all that stuff, then don't discount that, but just try to relax away from doing your breath, doing good breath. Great. Great. And then whenever you want, the head can wobble again. Yeah. And what we're going to do, without changing too much now, is we're just going to let the arms joggle, the whole arm. So the whole arm right up to the shoulder, not just the wrist. The whole arm is allowed to, allowed to joggle. That's it. And you have time to figure out how you want to do this. When I put a sweater on, I always go like this to make the sleeve kind of settle on my arm. So we do weird, wonderful arm things. Yeah. And that's it. That's very nice. And the movement, you can see that you could do a movement in your wrist. You could do a movement up to the elbow. You could do a movement all the way through the arm. And then, quite soon it starts to become a kind of samba arm movement. Yeah. Beautiful. Breath. Head is allowed to wobble. Arms are allowed to move. There's no correct way. Just don't get into too much of a hypnosis about it. And then we'll just add, so it's an H-A, somewhere between laughing and vomiting. It's a vomity, laughy, contemplative, very sophisticated, sacred teaching I'm giving you. Soft tongue. And it's a very germ of laughing or sobbing. It is actually. It's a very deep, weighted release. And that's why you would never do that at a job interview. Just would not do that, or at a cocktail party, because it's too raw. But definitely it could be a sacred toilet noise. Letting the arms wobble. Even the French can do it. I know it's possible. And the Cuban, American, English nobility over here. And then, and now your legs are allowed to wobble as well. Yeah, it's really the full catastrophe. Legs are wobbling, arms are wobbling, the yoga police is arriving, you're failing your yoga exams. And of course, what we're doing is we're releasing the deep ligamentous bed of the front of the spine, if you want to get technical. As you you're letting go of the way the limbs emerge from the body. You're letting go of the breathing mechanism. Yeah. How are you doing? Yeah. Good. Good. Chuckling away over here, the Belgians. Beautiful. And then just rest. That's great, Jeremy. Then just rest when you want to, when you're ready. Just rest. And as you rock back, you ripple back towards silence and stillness, just notice that it's another kind of movement. Stillness is not the absence of movement, and death is. But the body is still in a very, very mobile way, in a very sophisticated, beautiful, natural, mobile way. Stillness is like bird song. Birds sing because they have a song. That's it. They're not performing and communicating, whatever. It's the same when we dance or when we're still. It's the same richness. The same richness. So your breath may feel different, your mood may feel different. Sometimes a problem that we've been working on that's really locking us up, you know, suddenly the body lets go, and then we start to notice that issue differently also. Just like that. Did you explain or say something? Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me? So that's it, and then it opens, and you let it slide long. Don't make it complicated, because it isn't. That's it. And it's the moment where you let it slide long that's very profound and deep. You need to do a really slow. Generally rotates, it's soft, and it slides up really the foot on the ground. Yeah, enjoy, don't try to get it right. And then it opens, and then it slides on. See, that was beautiful. So I'm over here with Geert. Those of you, sorry for the technical problems. We've done this before, but if this is the first time, we're just lying long. Is it okay here? And then what you want to do is you want to let your leg turn out, and then you want to slide it up. Of course, these muscles are pulling, but don't take the foot off the ground, and you slide all the way up as high as you want to go, and then you come to here. And then the foot is on the ground, and you let the leg wobble a little. And then the important part is it opens and you let it slide long. And it's like your leg is sliding out of your lungs, and it's getting long. Yeah. And we do this hundreds of times on each side. Yeah, don't think. That's beautiful. Don't think. Yeah, Karen, that's great. It's just let it, and then let it slide long. Yeah, and that's the thing. And then wait a bit. Did you feel that? It goes long, and you breathe. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, in yoga, there are these amazing yoga poses where you wrap your leg around your head, halfway up an oak tree, hanging from your left nostril, and it's marvelous. But you know, for that to be healthy and good and helpful, we need the basic vocabulary of movement to be something that you're at ease with. Just like learning French. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, and then let's just, when the leg slides out, and don't be too tidy about it. It's like you're at the sea and the wave washes up your legs and then it returns to the ocean and it pulls your legs with it. That's beautiful. Beautiful. There is no cosmic feeling. That's not a special trip. It's just you and your legs and gravity on the ground. Yeah, that's great. And the leg slides. That's beautiful, Lucinda. And there is this remapping that goes on in our nervous system where we start to learn, well, how much tension should I really be using to lift the spoon or to walk across the room? Yeah, that's beautiful, Jeremy. And then the leg slides. And there's breath and weight. And then the other leg. Very nice. Good. Okay. And eventually you want both of your legs to be bent using this process with your feet flat on the ground and your knees up. So one at a time. Yeah, one at one. And then the next one. So eventually you're like this, your legs are bent, your feet are flat on the ground. That's it, Karen. Your knees are up. Yeah. Yeah. So we've journeyed from these two basic positions you can have on the floor. Long legs, long arms, or this position, which is often called semi-supine, where you're lying with your legs bent, and it does a different thing to your lower back. It lets you feel it, it releases it to the ground. They're both wonderful. Okay, so here we are lying on our backs with our legs bent, feet on the ground. Yeah. And we're just going to let the legs fall to the left, and you can catch them with your left hand if you want. Yeah. Don't tidy up your feet, don't get symmetrical, just let them go. You can always touch, you can touch the outside of the leg, the groin, the thigh, you know, yeah. Touching in yoga is part of the mudra system, where we close a gesture by touching another part of the body. And it's a very old wisdom because we know that when we touch, like when we move, we get information. It's not the other way around. It's not because I think I have information about the world. It's because I move in the world and touch it and it touches me. That I've come to know the world. That's what babies do. Then the legs roll the other way. Yeah. More oil and rolling the weight and less efforting. So you don't have to pick it up. And one leg could move faster than the other, you know. And the middle to upper spine does not need to be rolling around. It can wobble a little, but it's really from, let's say, from your lowest ribs or belly button down. And then you go the other way. So we're just letting the legs roll, and we're rolling through the feet. Your feet don't need to be connected. So let's say you're like that. So, and then you roll through the middle and to the other side. And then breathe. And then through the middle. Don't pick your feet up off the ground. That's it. Because the more you let go of your feet, that's beautiful. The more I can see that you separate from the middle of the spine down. You make a counter rotation to the upper. Yeah. Yeah. You could be a bit wider, and this leg is a bit trying to be in control, I think, more than this one. So just the way, yeah. Is that okay? Was that painful? Now here, you know, it's just like that.
So yes. This one now.
Could be, I don't know which one wants to be, but that one kept lifting itself up. Oh. Yeah, and great. Great. How are you doing over there? Good? Yeah. So the other thing is that very often if you're moving and it's so complicated and you're worried about getting it right or you want to be praised or all that kind of stuff, which is fun at another time, what happens is you don't actually leave yourself time to receive the reverberations of the movement. So here we're moving, and as we're moving, we keep getting the sensory feedback of the body that's moving. And this is different from self-consciousness. It's different. Self-consciousness is a different kind of awareness of self, which is very tense. It's unoriented. It's a completely different thing. This is what animals do, and just aware. It's the goodness of being aware of your environment and of your body. Very nice. So now we're going to add an arm movement, and Karen, I'll watch you, when you do your sore arm. But so I'm over here on the floor, my legs are going to the left, and as they go, my right arm travels up the floor, travels up the floor. There may be a moment where you lift the shoulder off the floor because the joint requires that rotation. And then it goes up and around your head, and it brings you over to the side. So if you've been joining quite regularly, we've done this. And then when you're on your side, it's your hand that travels around and it rolls you back onto your back, and your legs come up last. So we do again to the left. First the legs, then the spine travels up to the arm, and then the arm swings around and you're lying on your side and just enjoying that. And then to return, it's your arm that guides you first, and your legs that follow later. So it's the opposite when you return. And just get it completely wrong and completely right. It doesn't matter. Yes. That's it. Which way are you going? Yeah, so you go. That's it. And the breath, let yourself, that's beautiful, everyone. Let the breath roll you. So, just let yourself imagine what you're doing in your rib cage. As you roll, you're rolling your rib cage. Every rib, that looks beautiful, Mike. Every rib is rolling and relating to every vertebra. And let yourself make a little sound. Beautiful. That was amazing how you rolled. And yeah. Rolling. Beautiful. Okay, great. So just sit up for a moment. Just sit up and have a look. So it was gorgeous, but there is a tendency after a while to go towards becoming a sea cucumber. It's called sea cucumbering, which is a Sanskrit phrase. Sea cucumbering. So a sea cucumber moves like this. We did this as kids. Well, it's all of a piece, which is nice. I mean, it's something we do. We have these muscles that go all the way around, and then we have the six-pack or the chocolate bar, and then we have the diagonals. So we are able to stabilize. And when we push a heavy piano or lifting a car off a friend's toe or puppy, that's what we're doing. And it's amazing how strong we can be. But what happens in daily life is we actually get locked in the front or the back like that, and then we have problems. So here, we're actually separating this, and this is the first grammatic phrase of yoga, which we do in the standing poses, which we'll do in a moment, is we learn to separate the upper from the lower, and it's what little babies do. If you watch little babies, very soon they start to do like this. So they're completely rooted here, and they're separating their legs off, and then a little bit later, the pediatrician tests that the baby's able to do the opposite, be rooted here and do this back extension. So we lose that as adults as we become a kind of blob in the middle. So you don't want a sea cucumber, you want the legs to take the lower body, do you see, while this is still, and then the upper body follows, or you want the upper body, to see the legs are still, to move, and then there's a moment where the lower spine follows. That's what we want to separate it out, which is what human beings do when they walk. They have this rotation and counter-rotation, which monkeys don't have. Because monkeys don't have a lower back curve. They're like that, so they don't. They walk like this, which is really lovely. But it's not us. Okay, so we want that rotational thing. And also sea cucumbers don't have that. First of all, they don't walk. But second of all, they don't have it. That's it. So yeah. So now don't worry about it. That's it. Just play. First the legs, and then that's it. You go. And speed it up and get it wrong and roll on the floor. Yeah. Yes, roll. And let yourself make a sound. Because the diaphragm in the middle is part of what locks you all together. Symptoms of being locked together above and below are often hip issues and shoulder issues. More and more and more. And when you walk up to meditation, you know, when you walk up the hill, just notice, are the upper and lower bodies swinging against each other, or is there all, that's it, Tina. And there, are you uncomfortable? Are you happy? Great, great. Great, let's make a bit more sound and then we'll go to the next thing. Yeah. Yeah. If you're used to doing really intense yoga, because I can't see all of you in your own homes, that's wonderful too, wonderful. But what we're doing here, and also because I can't see you, is I'm taking quite a lot of time to build up a vocabulary and a grammar, so that then as things can get more fun or complicated or whatever, which is not the point, then you are able to play with it wisely for yourself. That's looking great. How are you doing here? Yeah. Beautiful. That's it, Lucinda. And when I see that, I see you come away from this, which is your more usual, and suddenly I see it start to open. You know, and then the tissue opens, but the mat starts to go, oh, that's new, I could use that more. And that's how we change. Yeah, of course, that's how we change. And it's not that the previous is bad, it's just that we do too much of something. Yeah, wonderful. So at one moment or the other, when you're on your side, you're just going to continue all the way around. So you're on your side, and then you're just going to come around onto your hands and knees. Yeah. Yeah, so Mike, if you turn around when you're ready. When you're ready. Okay, so we're going to be on hands and knees. If your wrists bother you, if they bother you, you can roll up the mat and put a little bit of cushion because it reduces the angle. We won't be here forever, so if it doesn't bother you, it's not important. You know, just like that. Okay, so here you are. So up until now, we were lying on our backs, on our trunk, and we were moving the limbs. Now we're lying on our limbs and we're free to move our trunk, right? So it's just a reversal of what we were doing before. And we're just going to let the body kind of rock or sway or swing, but don't lose the sense of being weighted. So heavy in the hands, heavy in the knees. If the knees bother you, put a cushion. And we can go, the whole body can go somewhere, or the bum could go different from the head. So there's figures of 8 and circles. You can go very far forward, which looks like cobra pose, or very far back, which is what we call child pose sometimes. Forward. And feeling how the weight pours through your hands and out through your fingers. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Now, as you move, try to let go of your heart and lungs and ribs. Try to let them, don't push down, but I, for example, could tell that I was holding around my shoulder blades. So I just let go. I let go of that world around the shoulder girdle. I play with an image of the heart or the lungs or all the water in there being heavy. So really let go. And then letting go of the wall of your belly, where your belly button is, and then the organs inside and the bones of your lower back and all that muscularity of your back. Just let it go. So you're very hanging and arched. And unless it's painful somewhere, just let that be. Let it hang through completely. And not only does it hang through completely, but you start to notice that your head could go up without effort. And it's going up, and you're developing antlers, horns, like a deer, horns. So it's like your head space is growing. As you let go of the spine, you let your head space go up, and your throat space starts to open, the base of the tongue, and all of the, see where my fingers are, the collarbones here, it's the tissue just behind there. Your lungs are practically there, the top of your lungs, they hang from there. So it's like you want this to open, but you're not stretching it. It's just as you let go of the spine, let it hang down, and the antlers or branches or halo takes your head up. That's all opening. And then you notice at the other end, it's the same. Your tail is going up. And so you have this huge hanging arch from tail to antlers. And then we're just going to walk back. And just go as far back as you can. Your bum may touch your heels. And now you're no longer arching in that direction. You're arching in a different direction. And just rest forward if it's comfortable. Letting your forehead rest on your two hands. Yeah, like that. That's it. Now, if there's somewhere that's not comfortable in your groins or at your ankles or in the shoulders, you can put some cushions. We have lots of cushions here, but also at home, just take something from the sofa and prop yourself up. It's me back here. I'm just going to bring you back. Is that okay? So you're letting the bum drop towards the heels. You're letting the elbows drop towards the floor. Is this okay on the shoulder?
Yeah.
Good. And you're letting the forehead really rest against the hands. And your neck should make a natural curve. So you don't need to tuck your chin in. Just really let your jaw hang off. And let your neck make that little curve because it's the head is propped up on your hands. And the breath is moving. And the layers of your back are lengthening now in this new direction. And as we let the breath breathe us, and gravity is teaching us new things in relation to ground, we start to notice the landscape. Normally, we don't have time to notice the landscape, and we edit it out because it looks wrong. Most of our asymmetries look wrong to us, so we edit them out, but actually they're very beautiful. So you may notice that one leg feels like it bends more, or your spine seems to be going a bit to the left, or one elbow feels like it's heavier or bigger. So just letting that in. You don't need to look for anything special. Just as you breathe, just noticing the richness of this landscape. Do you want me to get you a blanket, or is that okay? Maybe your head has tilted over a little to the left or the right. So don't correct that, just notice. Just notice. Or suddenly you let go in one of the shoulders. Or something deep in your belly lets go as you fold more and as you breathe. Very nice. Okay. So if you've had lower back trouble or neck injuries from a car accident, just do the next thing very slowly. We're going to reach back with the hands. So the forehead will now, you will put the forehead on the floor and you're going to reach back with your hands, could be one at a time or whatever, and that's it. And you're going to lie in this now different position, which is folded forwards, forehead in the ground, shoulder blades really sliding off. So just check that it all feels okay. Yeah. The knees can be wide or together, it doesn't matter. Is that okay, Tina? Yeah, what you need is, because you have that support, what you need is just something on the front to rest on. Something you can play with it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, but you need to go back. Yeah. Yeah. If it doesn't work, just don't do this bit. Yeah? Is it working? Yeah, just rest. Okay, then we're going to reach for the heel with the hand, and you're going to take hold of your heel. Take hold of your, so you turn your hand around. That's it. You take hold of the heel, and you begin, do this wisely and gently and playfully. You begin to pull your body in. So your forehead comes in, your chin tucks in, and you begin to pull yourself in very slowly. And it's like you're squeezing the space behind the nose, eyes, the base of the tongue, the throat, the breathing diaphragm. You're squeezing down all the way to the anus. And you curl in, and the arms, of course, are helping you. And you tuck your head in, and could even go as far as squeezing your breath to a stop for a minute. And then let go. Just let go. And let your body start to want to lengthen. Maybe first the trunk lengthens along your thighs, and then you bring your arms forward one at a time. Yeah, it's great that you tried. We'd have to fiddle a bit. Yeah. Until you get longer and longer and longer. So wait for the breath, wait for the body to do its thing. And yeah, and we could even stay down, give yourself time just to stay down here, but to get as long as you can through here. Longer and longer, so the bottom stays down by the heels, but as you breathe, you're like an earthworm, just getting longer and longer. It's not stretching, it's just releasing into length. Brilliant. Breathe. Okay, so from here, we're going to start walking forward with the arms. So you're long. You're going to start walking forward. You can just explore on your own, or you can have a look. It's really up to you. But as your arms go forward, your bum will start to go up. There is nothing you can do about that. So you might as well surrender to the bottoms up moment. So the bum is going up, and there will be a moment where your bum is significantly up, that you can even tuck your toes under. So you end up being in this position with your bum in the air. It's like you have a squirrel's tail that is sticking right up in the sky, and you're letting your spine drop off, and you're resting down on your elbows. And Karen, if it bothers your arm, is it hurting your shoulder?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to have a look, but I'm just starting with here. If that bothers you, you just widen the arms. I'm going to look. So I'm just putting my hands here. Is that okay? Come back a little. Stop. Okay, wait. Now tuck your toes under. Don't be frightened, because you can always stop. Now let go. Let go. Is that okay? Yeah, that's it. Now walk forward a bit. Yeah, and widen a bit. And don't come, stay here. That's it. And drop through here. And widen here. Yeah, that's it. Let go of that. Stay there. How is that?
That's okay.
Yeah, because this I can see here. Yeah, you have a rotation. Yeah, right here. This is all fine. Just let this drop. Yes, are you comfortable with that? Yeah, if it's too strong, you can come back. So tail up, toes curled under, very active toes, bum in the air, lots of length, letting your ribs drop through. Beautiful. Drop through. This is the beginning of continuing to heal your lower back. This problem that we all have because we're so bended forward and so much behind screens and on soft things that the back is struggling. Now we're going to, from this position with your elbows on the floor, you're going to push with your toes and reach with your head and come through. I'm doing it here if you're not sure. You're just going to come through to here and smile. Yeah. You're going to come through all the way through, and it's up to you. You can hang more down or you can be a bit more supported. And then we're going to make, that looks good, Tina. We're going to make our way back to here. And then when we're here, we're going to push our way through again. Yeah, so Jeremy, that's it. You need to be more forward. That's it. That's it, Karen. Is it okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the head comes up and the spine lengthens. Yeah. And then when we go back, don't go all the way back into this one. Stay in this position like a squirrel with its bum in the air and the tail. The base of your spine is really free to go up. And then from here, we push from the toes and we slide through. And then this is very important. You can even turn your hands out a bit. As you slide through, knees on the floor. Yeah, and then you can be very saggy or a little more supported. And then, we go back. And then, we come through. It's very profound. And then really look around so you don't develop fried fish eyes. Yeah. See. Yes. See. All the way through. And then your right heel goes back. C'est le moment tragique. No, foot on the floor. Heel. Voila. Voila. And then your other one goes back. And look at Tina with her special support in the middle of that section. And then your hands come off the floor. Yes. No, they don't. Yeah, long. So you're very long. Very long. And you talk to your neighbor and you say, hello. Yeah. And I love doing yoga. And you're very long like this. And then you put your knees on the floor. And you slide back. And here we go again. You reach with your head and push with your toes and you come through. Yeah, you come all the way through. And your right heel goes back and your left heel goes back. So look, if you're in sea cucumber mode, which is also constipated yoga mode, you would be like that. And then you can hear that it's a problem. But if you let go, you can be here for ages. You know, you could do the whole lockdown in this position. You know, and, yeah, it's gorgeous. Even Danish people can do it. Look at that. Yeah, long. Now bend your knees and go up with your bum. Up. This is a total celebration. Yeah, it's a total celebration of how bottoms can help us develop world peace. Or you could do this for the American elections.
Yes.
Yeah, this is good. But come more forward with your hands. Well, and be way up on your toes. Way up. In fact, if you're using socks, you could even take them off, but that's a very personal thing. So you just start. Yes, yes, and come down. Very good. Easy. Yeah, so little detail. So it looks like it would be amazing, like you would be a really advanced yogi if you could put your heels on the floor. But what happens is, as the heels go to the floor, watch my pelvis. If your body's not ready, your pelvis starts to tuck under. Do you see? Like that. And then you're actually not making anything long. You're irritating your back. Whereas if you go very high up on your toes and you even let the knees bend, then the spine, the whole spine starts to fix itself. Can you see? So this needing to put your heels on the floor is something we'll do later. But first, you want to free your bum from the other parts. So you sail up, and off we go, everybody. And you go way up on your toes. It's the Prada moment on the bend of the toe. Yeah. And if your big toes hurt when you bend them, too bad. This is one thing where you could just go for it and really bend them. Yes, and let that drop. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. And so that's it. Well, I'm just going to pull you up. Come this way. Bend knees, bend. Voila. Here. And then relax. Yes. Voila. You feel?
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, this is it. Breathe. Release. Huge life in your toes. World peace. Freedom of the bottom. Length deep inside. Tina, that looks amazing. And this. Yeah, and then you come down and you go all the way back into that completely folded position we did. And just have a rest. Just have a rest. Noticing heavy. So we've gone very deep into the spine now. So it would be quite normal if this is a new practice to you to really feel that you've moved the spine and the shoulders, the knees, the hips. Because these last movements were asking the front of the spine to lengthen. The front of the spine where all the organs are attached and hanging. Wonderful. Great. A few more breaths. Do we need to turn the lights on or is it okay? A few more breaths and then coming up to standing. Yeah. I think we could all turn to face that pinkening sky. Yeah. Okay, so have a look. This is what we'll do. We're just going to step forward. We did this last time. Step forward with one leg. And then with the arms, so arms should be lifting. Arms are always lifting the upper body. You know, and when we don't have permission to be ourselves, you know, then we're a little... So we take a step forward and then our arms lift us. Yeah. And while you root through your legs, that's it. Your arms lift you. Yeah. And you can turn towards the back leg and you can turn towards the front leg. Yes. And this is definitely not sea cucumber. Yes. Lift and lift. That's very good. And yeah. And it's amazing because every human being does this differently. We each have a different quality of
boniness, of tissueness. Yeah, all the way. Yeah, so now we're going to kind of throw the arms and throw the arms and throw the arms and let the body root and lift and rotate. It's nice when you lose your balance. Yeah, yeah. Somewhere between golf and tennis, canoeing, and I don't know what else. Wonderful. So we're going to step forward just from where you are. Step forward. And again. Now, this time, so it's an evening or morning or night or wherever you are. And so let the space be open. Even if you're in your living room, you can go beyond your living room. You can open out towards the horizon. Both ways, yeah. Yeah, because our bodies are our bodies, but the space is our body outside our body. Your body is always thinking that the space around it belongs to it, which it doesn't. So just open your arms, open the space, open the space. That looks beautiful, rooting through the feet. Great, Jeremy. And then the swing. Yeah, and I see your back arch and lift. I see your legs. Great. So from being worried to being fine. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then we'll just close lying on the floor. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll just let things settle and receive the ripples and the resonances. Feel where we are. So the whole person moves. It's not possible to do some movement practice, or go for a jog, or take your dog for a walk, and not have a change of mood or a new insight. It's not possible because the whole person is always moving. It's always like a sea swell, always. So the moving and the resting, the stillness and the dance are always the in-breath and the out-breath, the day and the night. And we're heavy, heavy on the ground. Letting yourself drop away from the front of your face, from the front of your breastbone, from the surface of your hands. Just letting yourself drop into the ground of your body, into the lake of your body. Noticing any discoveries, any surprising rivers of insight, just noticing. Okay, so thank you everyone. I hear the bell for evening prayer. Thank you all of you. We're going to meditate together in 15 minutes here, so it won't be online, but if you want to join us in that time of silence, that's when it's happening. And see you all next week. Bye.